Alright, so I always have to awkwardly like lower myself, spread my legs, and get in frame. There we go. What's up guys, I'm randomfrankp, back with episode 135 of Room Tour Project, the series where we show off the best gaming setups to give you some ideas and inspirations for your own setup. If you see anything you like, I will have it all listed for you in the description down below so you can check it out. And let's start off episode 135. And this episode of Room Tour Project is sponsored by Corsair and the brand new Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro RAM. Absolutely loving the way these look. It has dynamic multi-zone RGB lighting, can all be customized within their software. It's also compatible with Asus Aurora, Gigabyte Fusion, and MSI Mystic Light motherboards. Coming in both 8 and 16 gigabyte module density, these can easily hit 4600 megahertz speeds. If you want to find out more, check the links in the description down below. These are nice. Now starting off, wow, did my voice just crack? I'm gonna be 26 years old soon. Let's try that again. Starting off, we have a crazy laptop setup here. 3 separate displays attached to this. Definitely haven't seen a setup like this that goes the extra mile for a laptop setup, but hey, this guy's got it. So as for those monitors, the 2 on the sides are 25 inches from HP, and that overhead here is a 32-inch display from Dell. And then the centerpiece here is the 17.3-inch HP Envy laptop. It's a 1080p display, and its specs are an i7-8550U CPU. It has NVIDIA GTX 1050 graphics, 12 gigs of RAM, a 4TB Seagate external hard drive, and it's all mounted on this rig that's going to support the laptop and those monitors with a fantastic job at cable management as well. Definitely not doing a ton of gaming with this setup here, but that is a hell of a setup for this HP Envy laptop. It's a lot of pixels. Now getting into his peripherals, his keyboard is the Xmit Hall Effect keyboard. I assume it's one of those DIY kits. Not too sure, but it's that nice compact 60% layout, and he has a Blackweb wireless mouse. And then for audio, a pair of the Insignia speakers on his desktop with the Beats Solo 2 headphones being his cans of choice. Got it mounted underneath his desk on a little convenient hook. And then speaking of which, convenience and being mounted underneath his desk, he has 2 separate Griffin PowerMate multimedia knobs here. I love these. I showed them off in the Top Tech Under 50 series a few months ago. So having 2 of these is gonna really allow for quick and easy adjustments and macros. But altogether, a fantastic job of putting this setup together. I mentioned it before, but the cable management is on point with all the adapters probably and all the cables. The mounting job is great because you can't see any cables at all. Subtle RGB lighting behind the monitors and the desk. Just a really great job putting this one together. Now we got Haka, and oh baby, this is a nice one. Every now and then we come across one of these that just makes your jaw drop, your pants drop. Just kidding, obviously, but this one's good. He also has 3 monitors, but definitely in a rather unique and different orientation with a ultra wide in the middle, but the 2 on the left, did my voice crack again? The 2 on the left side are in a portrait mode, side by side. And as you might have noticed going throughout these photos, that he changes his wallpaper to kind of correspond with the RGB lights he has in his room. So first starting off, his main monitor is the Acer Predator X34, with those 2 on the left side being ViewSonic 27-inch displays. Now into his peripherals, he has the Razer Black Widow Tournament Edition keyboard with the Razer I can't talk today. I quit the show. Just kidding. This is the only good setup show out there. I wouldn't do that to you guys. Yeah, I said it. So his keyboard is the Razer Black Widow Tournament Edition with the Razer Orb Weaver Stealth gamepad, with the Razer Death Adder Elite mouse, and the Razer Firefly mousepad. So all Razer peripherals and all chroma. Then that'll lead us right into this sexy pick with a ton of RGB going on, highlighted by that PC. This thing is a monster. Inside this is an Intel i7 8700K CPU on the Asus ROG Maximus X motherboard. It's got 32 gigs of G.Skill Trident Z RGB RAM and an Asus GTX 1080 Ti Strix GPU, all inside the Corsair 780T case. And yeah, it's got some EKWB cooling stuff, some Thermaltake ring fans for the RGB fan look, and a ton of SSD space here. Talking a few terabytes of SSDs, and again, since they're so cheap, you gotta pick them up. And I do like how he has his Rode NT microphone kind of mounted like behind his monitor with the boom arm there overlapping, so he can just pull it down when he's doing voiceovers. He's thought of everything for this one, and he brought it together in perfection. I love this. It is a crazy nice looking setup. then when all the lights are off, look how clean and stealthy it looks. Like, it looks like a black and white image. Everything is so sterile and nice looking that he can go between whatever modes he wants. Crazy RGB or just all off stealthy. Hard to follow that one up, but this one's got a nice aesthetic from Not One Thing here. Loving that brick wall here. It provides a really nice backdrop just to give it a nice, modern kind of classier look. Highlighted nicely by the wooden desk as well. Very warm. I say that one a lot. It's a warm looking setup. This one takes advantage of the stacked monitor orientation, always close to my heart, with the primary being the Asus ROG PG34AQ, one of the most popular gaming monitors you could probably find, with a 24-inch Samsung monitor mounted as the overhead. And this shot gives us a nice look at the desk. Another great job with cable management as well. So proud of you guys. So for the peripherals, getting into his speakers here on the desk, those are the JBL LSR 305, with his keyboard being the Plank with cherry silver speed switches inside. I actually built one of these a few years ago. And Logitech G403 wireless mouse. A simple man with great taste. Then he also has the Mass Drop and Fostex THX100 headphones with a nice wood grain finish, as well as the SteelSeries Arctis 7 gaming headset. Then across the room, some other keyboards as well, definitely an enthusiast. The Philco MJ2 with a custom keycap set, as well as the KB Paradise V60. That's the one with the rainbow keycaps. Digging the little collection you got going on over here. And now we gotta check out the PC, and this is the NZXT H400i case with custom gold paint to complement it. Inside this is an Intel i7 7700K CPU with the NZXT Kraken X42 AIO. Got 16 gigs of Corsair LPX RAM on the MSI Z270i Gaming Pro Carbon motherboard, and a Gigabyte GTX 980 Ti graphics card. Got a little claptrap figure in there as well. Definitely going along with that kind of orangish gold and black theme. So while this isn't absolutely ridiculous and over the top, I love it just as much for that reason. I can tell this guy's got really, really good taste, great choice in peripherals and hardware. I love how it's right by the window too, so you have the natural light, the nice texture with the brick wall and the wooden desk, subtle RGB light strip behind the monitors. This setup is a beaut. This is a killer episode. We just got tons of great setups rolling in and out here. This is another one that isn't over the top, but it's very practical. Got the normal monitor for, gaming, the vertical one for, browsing the web, maybe coding. You get the idea. So his primary display is the Acer Predator Z35, which is a 35-inch 3440 by 1440p display, which has a 120Hz refresh rate. Then the 27-inch vertical one is 2560 by 1440p, so lots of pixels here. For the peripherals, we have the Woz Code keyboard with MX clear switches inside, as well as the Logitech G502 Proteus Spectrum mouse, a nice extended mouse pad, and the speaker setup is from Corsair, the SP2500. You can see the volume dial there right in the back. But he also has the Sennheiser GSX 1000 DAC, which he uses to power the Sennheiser Game 1 headset. So he's got some pretty good options here. Now we've got that PC to address, that is the Fractal Meshify C. They have some great cases. I feel they're highly underrated. Inside's an Intel i7 8086K CPU, and that's cooled by two of the Noctua NF A15 Chromax coolers. He has a ton of Noctua fans in this one. With 16 gigs of Corsair Vengeance LPX RAM on an Asus Maximus Xcode motherboard, and the EVGA 1080 Ti FTW3 graphics card. Another one, a ton of Samsung SSD space. Really like how chill this setup is, Other than the PC, there are no RGB lights really going on. Has a nice natural light right by that big window there in the back. Nice clean wooden desktop with a little plant there. This one is Random Frank P approved. Then lastly, but definitely not least, this is a really awesome converted room overall. So a really great gaming setup by Exovus here. And I say that because you can see the other side of the room. The bed's right there, minimal shelves, got the clothes hanging up right there. So a really minimal space overall that looks great for a gaming room. So as for those two monitors, his primary display is an Alienware curved 34-inch display, being 1440p with a 120Hz refresh rate with G-Sync. And the one off to the right is a 27-inch BenQ monitor. And you already saw in the first two pictures, he also has a TV mounted above that is a 42-inch Sony Bravio TV. I assume that's what's hooked up to that sound bar there. But now getting into the rest of his peripherals, he has the Corsair Gaming K95 Platinum RGB keyboard. That's with their very own Corsair white PBT double shot keycaps, with the Corsair Glaive RGB mouse on the Corsair MM300 extended mousepad. But now we'll check out his PC off to the left side of his setup. This is the NZXT H700i case. Inside you have a Ryzen 7 1700 CPU with the Corsair H150i Hydro AIO on the Asus ROG Crosshair crosshair 6 hero motherboard, got 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance LED RAM, and an EVGA GTX 1080 Ti graphics card. And you can see as a secondary PC, like on the shelf above his primary PC, he set that as just a server. But this is a really nice gaming room, love the overall feel to it, a great aesthetic, 2 monitors plus the overhead TV, you can't complain, man, this is legit. Alright guys, that'll wrap it up for episode 135 of Room Tour Project. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget, check the links in the description down below for all the gear and products and hardware you saw. Got it listed down there for you, as well as some simple instructions on how to submit your setup. If you want to be possibly considered to be on a future episode of Room Tour Project, if you think your setup is better than ones you showed off today, definitely submit. If you liked the episode, give it a thumbs up to show your support. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at randomfrankp. And last, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Well, I'm Random Frank P. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.